Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jashawn here. I'm going to talk about some friggin' books. Today I'm actually doing a tag that I was recently tagged in, and I'm sorry to anybody who tagged me a while ago and I still have not uploaded your tag videos that you tagged me in. I wanted to do a tag today. I'm trying to bulk film a little bit before my mom gets here today and I'm busy for the next week. And I honestly just went in my tags to do and picked the most recent one. So that is why I'm doing the most recent one. And as the title tells you, this is the football book tag, and this was created by Elliot Brooks, and she tagged me. Thanks, Elliot. Her channel is much bigger than mine, so like you probably already know about her, especially because I think I've talked about her before, so if you watch me, I've talked about her, you've probably seen her stuff. But if not, and you are not subscribed and you haven't watched any of her videos, you should go check her out because she's awesome. And she also lives in the Phoenix area, and we've actually hung out in real life, and she's actually really cool and sweet and nice in real life. All right, on to the tag. And these are all like football terms or like football players, and like I know the very, very basics of football, so I'm not going to try to explain what all of these mean because I probably don't actually know, aside from if I could remember Elliot's explanation. Number 1 is False Start, a book you had to start more than once. So I haven't actually started this book the second time, but I'm going to. Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. I was in the middle of watching the show and I just couldn't get into it. Number 2, MVP, your most valued pages. Books that you value the most. So I would say this edition I have of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I, honest to God, don't even know where I got this. I can't remember. It is a 1953 edition from Scribner's. And yeah, it's just like super old school, and I really like it. I value that a lot. And then I have a couple editions of Wuthering Heights, as it is one of my favorite books. And I like all of them that I have, but this one's probably my favorite because I don't know if you can see this like silver foil. The dust jacket was hideous, so that's gone. But it's illustrated, and these illustrations are just beautiful. Oh, and it has a little family tree. Let me find an illustration. They're just like perfect. There's a bunch. Let me find it. See, it has these illustrations in it. Yeah, I just love it. It's one of my faves. And then my World of Ice and Fire book, but as you guys know, well, you might not, but the dog chewed it, so I need a new one, but that one is one of my favorites too. Number 3, Offensive Lineman, a really big book or series. I mean, the World of Ice and Fire is a huge book. I mean, I don't want to get it, it's over there. I'm lazy. But yeah, it's like this big ass book, and then it's pretty thick, and I mean, the pages are huge. So it does take a while to get through. But other than that, probably my The Aeronaut's Windlass, if I remember right, it's like 700 pages or something like that. Number 4, Rookie, a debut novel you want to read or loved. I'm 99.9% sure that Dear Martin is a debut novel. And then I know that The Hate U Give was Angie Thomas's debut novel. She does have a second one coming out. I read this one, loved it, and I want to read The Hate U Give. Yeah, I know, it's been almost a year and I still haven't freaking read it. 5, Peyton Manning, an author who has written 2 series that you love. So the first 2 that come to mind here, Cinda Williams' Chima, because of the Seven Realms series, which I love, and then the Shattered Realms series, which I also love. They are in the same world, but they are 2 separate series, and the events are like 20 years apart. And then another one I could say is Sarah J. Maas. Number 6 is Lambeau Field, a book that's very atmospheric. And it's honestly been a few years since I even read this book, but I'm going to go with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I need to reread this. Number 7, Hail Mary, a book with a great ending. I'm legit struggling here. I seriously don't know. Nothing is sticking out right now as far as like, oh, that had a great ending. So I'm going to be lame and pass. 8, Raiders, a book or series with very intense fans. Elliot said Harry Potter, which, yeah, if people like grew up with Harry Potter and love Harry Potter, they like love Harry Potter. I think another, and well, this isn't necessarily a book or a series, but an author who has pretty intense fans, I think, is Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. I've read a couple of her series, and like, they're cool. Like the Monsters of Verity, the Savage Song, and Our Dark Duet. Like, I thought they were good, but like I wasn't like that into them. And then the Shades of Magic, again, like it was really cool. Delilah Bard I really liked a lot as a character, but the series as a whole kind of left me like, eh. But people who like her are like, yes, Victoria Schwab, oh my god, I'll read everything she writes ever. And I mean, that's awesome. That's cool. Good for her, right? The cat is playing with the plastic ball toy again. Ma'am. Number 9, Walter Payton, Man of the Year, author who is very charitable. I don't necessarily know, except for I have heard, and Elliot mentioned this too, and I had heard it, that J.K. Rowling, I'm pretty sure she's the first person to ever, first of all, become a billionaire from being an author, which is freaking ridiculous, but also one of the only person to get removed from that list of like Fortune 500 or whatever the frick, because of charitable donations. Number 10, Patriots, a book or series you are so tired of hearing about. I don't know that there is one necessarily that I'm just like, oh god, I never want to hear about it again. But I am kind of sick of the To All the Boys I Loved Before, right? Is that what it is? No, what I'm talking about, the little trilogy, little YA contemporary love crap. I'm sure it's very good. I just do not care. 11, Brett Favre, book or series that you thought was over, but then more books were written. The freaking Shades of Magic series. I finished this trilogy, and I finished this book in particular, and I mean, if you watched that video, you know how I feel about it. I felt like it was disjointed. I felt like there was so much in this book in particular, especially the last half. So many scenes and characters who kept getting talked about, and scenes that like nothing actually happened in them, and it didn't go, like it was scenes where you were like, okay, this must be going somewhere. There's going to be something later that's going to explain why this scene was in here. No, it just was there for no freaking reason. Then we find out she's writing more books in this world, not necessarily continuing this particular trilogy, but in this world with some of the same characters. So I assume that's why there's these random scenes. I'm just bothered by that because, I don't know. I feel like your trilogy should be together and stand on its own, and everything in the trilogy should make sense in that trilogy. Number 12, Cowboys, a book or series that people either love or hate. And there's quite a few for this that I could think of, particularly because I love me some YA fantasy. But the one that sticks out is The Wrath and the Dawn duology. I love it, and I feel like it's either, like, I don't see that many people that are like middle of the road with that. They either are like, yes, or they're like, this is garbage and I hate it so much. Number 13, Trick Plays, a book or series with a plot twist. This is another one that, like, I'm sure many of the books I have on my shelves have plot twists and that I just can't remember because I haven't read them in a hot minute. But one that is sticking out, because I read this book more recently, and I think it probably always will stick out to me, is in And I Darken. This one particular scene in the end, somebody's loyalties are tested, and the way they go made me so happy I cried. Everything leading up to that, you're kind of like, oh god, they're gonna go with like this option, but then they went with the other one, and it made me so happy. 14, Cheerleaders, a book with a flashy cover. I recently talked about this book because I recently got this book, but this Firewalker guy here, super pretty. 15, Roughing the Passer, a book you would love to throw at the author. I wouldn't actually want to throw this at the author, but I remember when I did read, so like I said, this series, I liked it generally overall, and especially the first 2 books. This is the second book. This one, this freaking ending, oh my god, the cliffhanger. I was getting so hyped in the last like page or 2, and then you've turned the page and the fucking book is done, and it's like such a cliffhanger. It was one of those moments that I literally like yelled out loud, like, what the fuck? So like, yeah, I'd love to, throw it at V.E. Schwab, at Victoria Schwab, but like not really. Okay, that is all the questions. Thank you again, Elliot, for tagging me. This was a fun one to do. I will tag, should have thought about this before. Because she tags me all the time. I will tag Miss Ola Quinn. And I will tag Bibliofilth. I will tag, who else? Oh, they'll all be linked down below. And guys, if you don't watch football or like football, same. So you don't have to like football to do this. All right, thank you so much for your time, guys. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.